All right, December 5th, Joe is going to tell us and what do you even call it? Was it the GoPro event
Yeah,
in Vegas?
it was GoPro 2016, which is the largest generic network marketing event. So there were network marketers from all different walks of life, like you name it. Except probably the It Works people because they're probably too lazy to show up.
Mm-hmm.
But
Or their stuff just doesn't work.
there were companies, network marketing companies that I'd never even heard of. There were others like Unique and all those people that were there and stuff like that. Just very quickly, I don't know how many people obeyed this rule, but they started it off by being very strict that the entire weekend, anyone who was involved in the event, it was off limits to prospect.
Anybody does what?
It was completely off limits for prospecting.
Other people who were there?
Right.
Right.
You could, certainly talk to your Uber driver. You can talk to your hotel staff. You could do whatever you want, but you're not allowed to prospect anyone, even in the hotel, even out to dinner. You're not allowed. They wanted to create an environment for people. So they took it extremely seriously.
Hold on.
So, because,
I'm just muting everybody else besides you.
oh, okay.
It's not letting me. Hold on. Mute all. And it's okay. I'm going to mute everybody, and then Joe, unmute yourself.
Okay. All right, cool. You guys hear me? All right, so cool. So a little bit about me, for those who don't know my full history, which is probably all three of you guys, and maybe others who will listen to this call later. So I have been a coach on Brooks' team since August of 2015. And, I have been committed to being a business builder right since the get-go. But I've been struggling. I've had some great months. I've had some not so good months. And what I've recently figured out is that, my major problem was that I kept focusing on my weaknesses. And I kept getting hung up on my weaknesses and saying, you know what, I don't want to do this just yet. Let me pull back. Let me do some more training. Let me read something or find the answer before, I go out and say do inviting or something like that, because, this isn't going to work. And for me, it was important that everything had to be perfect. So I would pull back and I would hesitate. At the end of the day, so what? I'd go through a bunch of trainings, but I wouldn't get anything done after that. Training is great, but the bottom line is you have to commit to taking massive action, because only massive action is going to get you to move forward. So it's been a long process for me, but the dots have started to connect. I did promise Brooke that I would figure this out, and I think I have. But for me, everybody has to do their own work and everybody has to figure it out. But I've sort of figured out what my biggest problem was, and that was getting hung up in this constant cycle of worrying about my weaknesses. All along, knowing my strengths were there, but not to them, and not taking massive action to succeed. So there's a lot of this started earlier this month. I went to the Team Boom retreat down in Delray, Florida. But a lot of that was not, learning technical abilities or even developing my own confidence. Most of that was really feeling closer and a part of this team, the larger team, Team Boom. I got to spend some intimate time with a bunch of folks, and I really felt connected and very motivated coming out of that event. But knowing in the past, I've been to a few events. I went to the men's event down in Dallas in May. Went to Summit in July. I've been to a few Super Saturdays. And the bottom line is if you don't take massive action coming out of these events, that enthusiasm, that motivation is going to slowly start to slip away. This trip, however, was different. I didn't focus as much on sort of the technical trainings that they were going to give us and all of that. I spent more time, focusing on this being a personal journey for me. So, we had the Tony Robbins event, and everybody knows Tony Robbins is, right? Yes. Look up Tony Robbins. He's widely regarded as the leader in personal development. He does, seminars all over, and he's an advisor to presidents, to any politicians, to leaders of other countries, to sports heroes, actors and actresses. I mean, he is the guy. And you can walk into a Tony Robbins event with the worst attitude, thinking that this is going to be a complete waste of your time. And without even talking to you, because, I mean, he wasn't going to talk to you personally in a room of 16, 17,000 people. Over the course of 3+ hours, he will break you down, and he will give you so much thought, your head will be spinning. Mine's still spinning from that event. I mean, it was absolutely amazing. I mean, not to call myself out, but I'm standing next to Pat's cousin, Chris Bartlett, and he and I are both, having a good time and didn't have bad attitudes by any stretch. I mean, we expected to get something out of it on the business side of things, considering he's, a multi-billionaire and very successful businessman. We expected to learn some tips to help our businesses, but we went through this, one exercise over the course of like 15 minutes. The lights came on, and he gave us, assignment to tell the person next to you what you were thinking about. And I looked over at Chris, looked over at me, and the two of us had tears in our eyes. I mean, it was that freaking good. Then it goes on to listening to, Sir Richard Branson, somebody I've always admired, and coming out of his talk, I admire him even more so. I've already set the goal. One of my there won't be a 2017 goal because it's very expensive, but I want to be the first Team Blue member into space. So that is going to happen, but the price tag has to come off of $250,000 for me to move forward with that. So eventually it will. It's kind of like the VCR. You remember when those things were like $60,000? Now you can get them for like $10. So, but I will be the first Team Blue member into space, unless Matt beats me first. So, I mean, the whole thing about these events were that I started to learn about who I am and how to deal with my emotions. And it wasn't just the GoPro speakers. I mean, Eric was great. Eric Worre, the head of GoPro, and also the person who wrote GoPro, the book, very easy. I just started it myself, but so far it's very good. So I definitely recommend reading it. It's like 100 and something pages, pretty quick read. Big type too, which I like. So definitely, if you want to be in this business, I mean, show of hands too. I mean, who wants to be in this business just to be average? Put that hand down. Who wants to be in this business to be actually known? I mean, there's 450,000 Beachbody coaches. Do you want to be ranked like number 372,000? Is that going to make you happy? Or do you want to be in the top 100 or top 50 or top 10? Yeah. We all have the ability to kill this, and I know for truth, absolute truth. And what I'm going to say is not disparaging to any of the coaches I'm going to mention, and maybe I won't even mention their names. I'm not even going to mention their names, but I had the opportunity to spend significant time, pretty much one-on-one time with some amazing top coaches in our business. I mean, 15-star diamond coaches who have been rocking this business for a long time. And they are good at what they do. Don't get me wrong in any way, but they are no different than any of us on this call or any of us who will listen to this call. The only difference that is there is that they've been doing it longer than us and that they've been consistent to taking massive action. So that is what I learned. I walked out of an event. I was challenged by one of these top coaches. And I'll give you a little teaser of one of my, it's actually not even going to be a 2017 goal. It's going to be a 2016 goal. Yeah, give me those little smirk with that. This is a 2016 goal. It is December 5th. My goal is to be diamond by the end of this month. So, and I don't just say that to talk. I mean, I took massive action. I had a 10 o'clock flight coming out of dinner with 3 of these top coaches. And that's when I was challenged to do this. And I was encouraged, and I was told that this coach believes that I can do it. And I believe I can do it. To the point where my 10 o'clock flight.
I want to know who it is.
Huh?
I want to know who this specific coach is.
The coach is not on our team.
I know. You said it's a top coach, right?
Yes.
So who is it?
He is fantastic. Let's just say that.
What?
He or she is a fantastic person. How's that for a hint? Anyway.
Who is it?
I'll tell you later.
Not on Team Boom.
Not on Team Boom.
So why can't you tell us? I mean, it's a good thing, right? He's challenging you.
It's a great thing, but
Right, I'm not gonna peer pressure you.
I'll think about it.
Okay,
Anyway,
think about it.
So I was challenged. I accepted the challenge, and I immediately walked out of the. Well, I walked out of the restaurant. Mind you, I had 10 o'clock flight. I finally decided to leave the restaurant at 10 minutes to 9. And I still had to go back to the hotel to get my bags. So I had about an hour and 10 minutes. So while I was waiting for my Uber and finding out that my Uber got tired of waiting for me and canceled, I was talking to somebody. Yeah, the story goes on from that, as all of my stories do. So didn't exactly realize, or I was just realizing that my Uber had canceled. So I was booking the Uber again, and the same Uber decided to accept my ride and then cancel again. So I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to get to the airport with high risk of missing my flight. And I was talking to a gentleman next to me, and I don't exactly remember, what my opening starter of conversation was. Probably something about Uber, and then explaining why I was rushing late, and talking about how I was getting some great FaceTime with some of the top people in my business. And the guy asked me what business I'm in. So I tell him. And I start talking to him about the business, and not to sell him anything, not to think about scripts, but talking to him with passion, talking to him quickly, talking to him with purpose, and with a loud voice, not meek. And he's a heavier guy, and definitely said, you know what, I could so use that. And I said, and his Uber finally arrived, and he's like, before I hop in, take down my number. And the first thing I thought about was I flipped up my phone and I go, here, I'm going to videotape you. Just say your number into the phone. So I got his phone number. I'm going to give him a call and see where it leads. May lead nowhere, but he's now become a prospect. His name is Ted, and I got his phone number. Goes beyond that. So I was so giddy in my third attempt to get to Uber. Now we're approaching 9 o'clock. I ran back in and said hi to the 3 coaches again, and they're like, what the hell are you still doing here? And I told them about the conversation there, and they were all like, whoa, kind of meant for you to take your flight home and take massive action when you get there, but taking it along the way is fine. So the long and the short is my second Uber finally came. I got it, ran back to the hotel, got my stuff, and went to the airport. Oh, sidebar too. Well, I'll tell you the second story later, but it's a little out of order. There was a story from the morning that I didn't tell you, but let me finish this one. So I'm rushing to the airport, and they're boarding at 9:30 for a 10 o'clock flight, and I get there at like 9:25, or I get through security at like 9:25. Fortunately, it was only about a 10-minute ride to the airport, which allowed me to push the envelope even further than I normally would. So I get through security. I'm very fortunate that there was hardly any line of security. And I get to the gate and I'm like, yes. And they announce they'll be boarding in 5 minutes. So I'm sitting down and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take the opportunity to charge my phone because it's almost completely dead, which was just a continuous pattern all weekend. So I was sitting down in a chair across from these four dudes with cowboy hats on. And so I just motioned to one of them and I said, hey, would you mind plugging this in at the outlet over next to you? Because he had one right between his seat and I didn't have one on my side. He said, oh, sure, no problem, grab that. So helps me plug it in, and then we start talking and stuff like that. And I decided to take a selfie, as we all do in an airport. So I took out my handy dandy Diva ring light, which creates quite the lighting in a darker area. Gives you a nice perfect lighting, but it also creates kind of like a little spectacle. So like one of the dudes was like, hey, what the heck is that? So start talking about it. I'm like, yeah, I take a lot of selfies in my business. And then they start asking me about my business. So I started talking to all four of these guys, and just going on, and they're very interested. And then all of a sudden, one of the guys was traveling with either his wife or his girlfriend, and she sits down and she starts listening as, they're boarding, and I'm on like boarding number one or number two, whatever. They're like now boarding number one, now boarding number two, now boarding group number three and group number four. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I am definitely going to be the last person on this plane, but I just have to keep sort of a half eye open, make sure it doesn't fly away without me. And so we're talking, and then the woman who arrived late just starts asking me some questions. She's like, all right, so if I got hooked up with you, what could you do for me? So I started answering your question. And I started saying, you know what, I'm not here to sell you guys on anything. What I would do is I would connect with you on Facebook, and I would, get to know you and try to get to know your goals, try to get to know what you want, and then I help you get there. And she was like, okay, let's become Facebook friends. So meanwhile, the guy's like, okay, he's like starting to close. I go, hold on, wait for me. And I connect with her on Facebook, and I, told her that I would reach out to her this week. So, I mean, that's what it was about. At no point during any of these conversations, and this all took place in like 45 minutes. And I mean, this is like a dramatic thing. It's not going to happen every single day, obviously, but you really just have to up your confidence. That comes with time. That comes with experience. But don't stop. Don't sit on the sidelines saying, I need to get this experience. I need to learn more before I decide to take action. Just take massive action. Every single one of you guys are going to screw up. I still will. I probably screwed up 100 times today. It doesn't matter. As long as your intentions are pure and you speak from the heart about why you want to do this business, then you will do just fine. But you've got to take massive action. And that comes from attending these events, reading your personal development, And attending these events, it's like this event is like personal development on steroids. Okay. It really is. I mean, it's like a whole weekend of personal development because you're attending seminars and conferences, and you're talking to people who are giving you like just golden nuggets. You're getting hang time and playing games with people that you've only watched on YouTube videos, and are like, holy crap, like 15-star dive. It doesn't mean anything. All it means is they were doing it longer than you.
Right.
That's it. Okay? You guys signed up in 2016. So what? Somebody else signed up in 2009. Big deal. They've been consistent. Maybe not even from the beginning. Maybe they weren't even consistent up until like 2012.
Pat wasn't.
Pat wasn't consistent for the first 3 or 4 years of his business, and he did absolutely nothing. His words, not mine. The last 3 or 4 years, he's been killing it. And you guys can too. Okay? We're all better than this. We just have to continually take massive action. And don't ever discount personal development again. I made that mistake.
I have multiple
times.
times.
The first thing that goes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? If you want to get better, do your PD. It takes a half hour. We always sit there and quote, a half-hour workout is 2% of your day. Well, so is a half hour of reading a book or listening to a podcast. You do them both, that's 4% of your day. Get it done. You guys are all awesome. And you can all do this. So take massive action. Go to team events. Maybe not all of them. I know we're not all made of money. Pick and choose. Definitely get to Summit. Definitely get to some non-team events like this GoPro. I mean, it's a team event, but it's not a Beachbody event because the added perspective that you get from outside is so valuable. But get the team events. Do your personal development. Be proof of the product. All of that will help you develop your confidence to talk to people and invite people. All of your lives have been changed by this business, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Either the fitness programs or the business. So what makes you so selfish that you don't want to share that with anybody else?
It's true.
Okay? How would you feel if your coach, which I think you're all with Brooke, how would you feel?
Erica is Alex James' coach. But yeah, still, I helped Erica. Erica helped them. So still same
thing. How
would
you feel if your coach didn't contact you? Okay, because I know Brooke stalked me. I had another coach who only sent me e-cards. Like, hey, this is the promotion of the month. I'd be learning if I was still under this guy, I would be getting an e-card, probably from his wife, telling me that Quarter Force was on sale this month. And I would be like, big fucking deal. Spam. And this is coming from somebody who already loved Beachbody. Already loved it. I had already done P90X, which is how I got hooked up, why I became his lead. I had already wasted 3 years gaining back all my weight. I had already decided enough was enough, and I was going to buy P90X3. I did the program 3 times. I did Insanity. Okay? I was doing it alone. But it wasn't fulfilling. Because it was just me.
Right.
So, a couple of things. How much more time do I have?
Oh, no, it's not showing the thing yet, so it's at least 10 minutes.
So, again, look up who Tony Robbins is. He does tons of podcasts, YouTube videos. He's got a whole bunch of stuff. I highly recommend seeing him live. He's very expensive to see live at one of his other events, but that's going to be something I'm working towards because I do want to spend This was, he spent 3.5 hours with us, and that was like an appetizer. He does like whole week-long events that are very expensive, but they're life-changing. And I know that because I just sat through 3.5 hours, and it was like I was sad when it ended. It was that good. I could have gone on. I could have just mindlessly gone on for the whole rest of the night into the next day and just said, just keep going. It was constant energy and excitement. But I'm not him, but I'll try to recap a couple of things that he went over. And essentially, his goal is to give you a breakthrough. And one of the main things that he talked about was that there are two emotions that tend to hold most of us back, and that's fear and anger. So, but the best way to deal with those two emotions is with the feeling of appreciation. When you have fear, when you have anger, and one of those two or both of them are holding you back, close your eyes for a minute and start thinking of the things that you appreciate in life. Because all of us have been blessed. We've been blessed with loved ones. We've been blessed with skills. We've been blessed with second and third chances at good health. And it brings a lot of things into perspective that something like talking to somebody and giving them a chance to experience what I've experienced, it really puts that into perspective and kind of dwarfs it. So, so that was one of the main things that he talked about that I wanted to share. I don't know what else I can say, but the bottom line is you guys are all awesome. I'm very proud to have you as teammates. Very proud to be part of Brooke's team. One of the things I told Brooke last night is I've always joked, I think I probably did on the last team call, about how did I get into Brooke's niche. And what I told Brooke is I was thinking solely of her niche of being a mom and being fit, and I wasn't thinking of her other niche, which is where I should fit in, and that's being a leader. Because Brooke is an excellent leader.
Thanks, Joe.
Well, you are. And I used to be a very good leader too in my other business. And through the course of the events that have happened late last year and this year, I had kind of forgotten that. And I'm kind of embarrassed about that. And I think I allowed that to hold me back in this new business. I'm still 100% committed, 1,000% committed to killing this business and turning this into a full-time career. But it starts with me regaining my ability to be a good leader. And that started this past weekend. So
that was my biggest
ability to be a leader.
That was my biggest takeaway after Summit.
Yep.
Was taking charge of being a leader for my challengers and my coaches. And that's really what changed for me since August.
Up until this weekend, I was committed to helping people, change their lives through fitness and nutrition, which is what I had experienced. I lost 70 pounds using these products, and I'm damn proud of it. And I do still have a great resolve to help anyone who wants it experience that same thing. But there's more to this business than that. And I think up until this past weekend, I was afraid to build a team because then I'd have to actually lead them. And subconsciously, I wasn't sure I was capable of that.
That's where the fun starts.
And coming out of this, I just was so excited. Like I was telling Brooke at the beginning of this call, I had gotten about 5 hours of sleep over the course of 2 days. And I was still freaking wired with excitement. It came crashing down today, but I'm still mentally excited. I'm just kind of physically wiped. But I still did a workout this morning, though.
It's impressive.
Yeah. Well, it was active recovery, so it's not
Did
bad.
you do your second workout? I saw that you were doing your second one tonight.
It's not the best thing for me to do.
I'm just giving you a
I'll
hard
double up tomorrow.
I would never do it if I were you.
I want to get to work after this call. Yeah. Not do a second hour of a workout.
Yeah.
So, because I have plyo and core kinetics, so I'll just suck it up and be in a day behind.
I'm going to be 2 days. I'm going to finish 2 days late.
I needed the rest day yesterday, and so I do the active recovery today. But anyway, the bottom line is I was afraid to be a leader, and afraid to build a team. But I'm not afraid anymore, and I want that team. And
I will help you. I'll help every single one of you build your teams.
So will I.
That's what I'm here for.
Because we are team members, and we will not let anybody fail. That is the Beachbody model. We will not let you fail. So, and to my team members who have not joined my team yet, I let them down. I will never know who they are. But I feel bad about that because they could have already been on my team, but I will find them. So, and I will lead them, and I will happily lead them now. So.
Timing is everything, and everything happens for a reason. So it sounds like you got a lot out of this weekend, and there was a reason for you to go because now your business is about to explode.
Yep, I have no doubt about that. And I totally understand I may fail on my goal to be diamond by the end of this month.
But then you just extend it. I mean, goals are...
I mean, it is what I can guarantee I'm going to be a lot closer.
Mm-hmm.
And if I sit there and say, well, you know what, I'll be diamond by summer.
No, it's too late.
I'll be diamond by the end of next year. Every one of you should have a freaking scary goal that you want to solve by the end of this month.
Hairy, scary goal.
Pick it and do it.
Okay, that's it. I'm holding everybody accountable to one hairy, scary goal by December 31st, including myself. I have to really think about that. Harry.
Well, you can just wimp out and say you want to be a 1-star diamond by the end of this month.
I'm hoping for 2-star. Erica's pretty darn close.
Because I'll help you get there.
Yeah.
If anyone else on the team wants to step up, we can make Brooke a 2-star, and then she doesn't have to even do anything.
I've been doing a lot to help our team get there, I believe.
I'm just kidding.
I know you are.
So it would be repayment anyway for all you've done for us.
It's team effort.
But
Well, Joe, this was amazing. I know I'm fired up now.
So anyone have questions?
Alex says me too. You guys can unmute yourself. Don't feel like you have to.
Unmute yourself and ask questions, please.
Alex, are you there?
Oh, yeah. Did you unmute me?
Yeah, I think I did.
Oh, I was trying to figure it out. I didn't really have anything in particular to say. I just wanted to unmute myself. Thanks, Joe. That was awesome.
That is a very good point. Unmute yourselves in this business. Don't be muted. See what I did there?
Clever.
Hello.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. I'm going to absolutely post this recording. This was awesome. I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us, Joe. Yeah. And Joe will be talking to the whole team on the Team Boom call on Wednesday as well.
Yes.
Okay. So be thinking about your hairy, scary goal. Also, the December goals are up. They've been up. Get them in as soon as you can. Goals are don't be nervous. They're just good to have to hold yourself accountable. If you don't get there, that's okay. But it just helps you, stay on track. And then we'll definitely talk next week about goals, 2017 goals, and some other fun tidbits of info. Okay. All right. Thank you, guys.
All right.